this is Margaret Lewin, and welcome to Margaret Lewin Quilting. Today is Tuesday, so we all know what that means. That means it's Quick Tip Tuesday. And what I'm going to be showing you today is how I went about sewing my binding on my placemats. I did it a little bit different than normal because I attached my binding to the back, brought it around to the front, and top stitched it down. So if you'd like to see how I do it, stick around and I'll be showing you. So what happens normally when you put binding on? You put it on the front, flip it over to the back, and then hand stitch it down. Well, that's normally how I do my binding. But on this project, I'm doing it a little bit different. And the reason for that is because I'm fine with doing the binding by machine. And the reason why I'm fine with it is these are placemats. I'm going to be putting them on the table. They're going to be used a lot, and I'm just fine with it. It's that simple. So what I've done is I've attached my binding to the back of my quilt, and you can see I've got the camera in really, really close. And the reason why I do is I want you to see how I go about doing this. One of the first things that I like to do is I like to change my presser foot to a really, and I'm searching for my presser foot, a really open-toed foot. I don't normally use my 1/4-inch foot. I like something that is really open so that I can see the area that I'm going to be sewing. So I'm going to grab my Bernina number 20 foot. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. It's a real open toe. I'm going to try to adjust it so that you can see it. See, it's just got a really, really nice open front so that I can see very easily. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this part of the foot as a guideline to keep it right on the edge where I want it. So what I've done is I've attached the binding. Now is all I'm going to do on this binding is I'm just going to roll it over just like this. That's it. Going to keep it real, real simple. Then I'm going to line it up underneath my presser foot. And like I said, I'm using the edge of the presser foot as my edge to stitch. So I'm just going to take a couple of stitches. I am going to lengthen my stitch to about 2.5, maybe almost 3, only because it doesn't need to be a really tight stitch. So I'm lengthening that, and I'm going to bring my needle down so that I can see where it is. And I want it over one more. So I'm going to use my needle over function on my Bernina. Oh, I got to bring it all the way up. There it goes. Because I want it just a little bit closer to the edge without going over. So I did the needle over 2 spots, and now I'm just going to sew. That simple. Just, you know, this is one of those things that you just do that is a real, keep it simple. So I'm going to put my needle down function on. Now I'm going to grab my stiletto, because I will tell you these stilettos do help you a lot when you're doing a project like this. Because what happens is I can go ahead of my project. I don't know for certain if you can see me or not. But what I'm doing is I'm taking my stiletto, and I would be ahead of the project and just holding it down like this so that I could keep a nice straight line. So here I go, gonna do that. And it really does help me to keep all of this together and keep it as straight as possible. Now I'm coming up to one of my corners, so I'm gonna make my corners just like I normally do. Nothing different. I've folded it down. I'm gonna keep sewing. The closer I get, just keep sewing. And I'm gonna sew beyond my corner where I would have folded it over, and then I'm gonna back stitch a couple. Okay, now I'm gonna pick my presser foot up, pick my needle up, and now I'm gonna turn my placemat. when I turn my placemat, now is when I'm going to manipulate my corner. And I'm going to move this so that you can really see it. So see, this is what I've done. I've made my perfect corner, or I think it's pretty perfect. It may not be perfect, but I think it's pretty good. And I'm just going to go back, do my needle down, bring my passer foot down. Come on, move. There we go. I'm going to use my stiletto again to hold it down. I'm going to do a couple stitches forward, then a couple backwards, and then I'm going to keep right on going. So the next time you're putting on binding, depending upon what it is, take a look at it. You may not mind if the binding is machine sewn down on the front, or if you want to, go ahead and hand sew it down on the back. I normally do hand sew it, but I thought I'd share this with you because I obviously am doing something a little bit different, and I thought you might like to learn how I did it. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye.